Hello, hello, hello. Yet another episode of Better Habits podcast. And I'm very excited. We have another coach with us today who's helping people with sleep. And you know how much I'm obsessed about sleep, how much I think it's one of the core keystone habits. So I'm very excited. I'm going to ask a lot of questions today. But before I do that, I want to introduce our guest. Uh, Anyssa, hi, thank you for being with us. And why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi, my name is Anyssa. I am a sleep coach on Coachdotme. I work in sleep medicine. I am assistant to several sleep doctors. I work in treatment of several, well, snoring and sleep apnea specifically. But, I meet a lot of people who have various sleep conditions. I live in New York City, the city that never sleeps. So
Yeah.
ironically, you'd be surprised how many people really do feel those effects of not getting good rest. So I'm happy to be here
Mm,
and happy to talk to you today.
great, great. So, well, let's start from the beginning. Why sleep? So why did you get into this area as a assistant to doctors, as a coach? Why sleep?
Yeah, so I went to school for health sciences. My initial intention was to become a doctor, but that didn't work out that way. And so I found myself working in various medical fields. I found myself in a dental sales position. And that's where I met an ear, nose, and throat doctor. And he was telling me he had a sleep practice, and I hadn't even heard about anything like that before. And he is in New York City. He's an innovator though. So it's not like he does the in-house sleep studies. His idea is a little bit different. So you do at-home sleep testing. He sends sleep studies to your home. You do them in your own home. And then we start talking about what sleep apnea is and how serious a sleep condition can be. Sleep apnea is when there's a restriction in the airway, and
Mhm.
people normalize snoring, and there's a certain type of snoring and there's um, a sense of concern for that. And so I just learned a lot of things. And that same year, my mother passed away that year that I started working in sleep.
Mm.
And she had heart failure, congestive heart failure, and she wasn't getting better. And she also, I now learn, she had severe sleep apnea. She
Mm.
snored heavily my entire life. Our entire lives, it was like a thing. Oh, mommy snores like a bear. Like that was just a thing. But then,
Okay.
you know, when she had the health conditions that weren't getting better, they were trying to, give her different medications and, her health was just declining. Come to find out, untreated sleep apnea means your body is not able to go through those cycles of rejuvenation that it needs to. The tissues, the
Mm.
heart is overworking, and so you're in a constant state of stress. Your body is in a constant state of stress. And then that does kind of lessen your mortality. And so that first year was very impactful for me working in sleep, and that was in 2018. And I'm still working in sleep.
Mm.
Not until 2020 did I become a sleep coach. COVID happened. The type of practice that I work in, it is a private practice in New York City. Everything shut down, so it was hard. We were all working from home, and it was hard to figure out what matters, if that makes any sense. They have this term essential
Sure.
workers, right? And so I went on this journey. I became a life coach. I became a doula. I found myself in
Mm-hmm.
all of these spaces where I'm supporting other people. And I'm like, coaching is a big part of it. Yeah, I'm working in the treatment end of things with the practice that I work in, but just educating and being there for other people and supporting other people is where I found myself to be really helpful. And so that all to say, now I am also a sleep coach, and I work
Right.
with a lot of people who need to focus on, establishing a good sleep hygiene, sleep routines, or just understanding what it means to not get good sleep. Again, this is New York City. A lot of people are
Right.
like, I run on 4 hours and I'm good. And it's like, are you good?
Yeah. 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 Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for telling your story. Ian, just before we get into the sleep, just because I think it's very important, I think snoring is normalized and people just
Right.
live with it. So just before we get into more sleep, how do people, when do people, when there should be alarm going off, when they should go and check?
Yes.
What would be some of the indicators that this doesn't seem right for them or for their partner or family member? What are some of the indicators for them to go and actually check for the sleep apnea?
I'm glad you noted that, Lydia. The partner and your family, friends, people who are around, you're sleeping. You don't, that's one thing. You don't really know what's happening, right? Because you're asleep. A lot of people wake up and they're just exhausted. But your partner's saying, it sounded like you stopped breathing. There's a certain snore. Yeah, there is normal snoring. Everybody snores. If we drink a little bit, smoke a little bit, happen to eat, a certain fatty food, there's going to be a little snore sound. But then there's the type of snoring where you're gasping for air. There's a halt. It's not a rhythmic sound. There are pauses. When you see the person, sometimes people even jolt themselves awake. People wake up with heart palpitations and sweats, or some people just wake up frequently throughout the night and like, oh, I just have to use the bathroom. Ironically, that is also, it's not ironic. Coincidentally, that is a sign of a sleep condition too. If you're waking up several times a night to use the bathroom, it's like your body isn't deep enough in sleep. And then you're awake, and then your body is aware, okay, my bladder's a little full. A lot of people, they wake up frequently to use the bathroom and it's just a little dribble. Their blood is not full. They just have this sensation of, okay, I can't rest because I must have to use the bathroom. But no, it's like your body actually woke up and now you're awake, and now your body's like, okay, what else is going on? I guess we have to use the bathroom. So that's another sign. And then exhaustion. Some people sleep 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 hours and they're still tired. Tired throughout the day. People drive, and they get tired just after 30 minutes behind the wheel, watching TV, things that in the middle of the day, like, after work, you find yourself drifting off after a 30-minute sitcom, an hour show, or even that evening meal. A lot of people normalize, well, in the Black community, there's something called the itis. And what that means is after you eat a big meal, you get tired.
Yeah.
However, that's not really ideal, right? You need to really think about, okay, why am I exhausted? What is the food that I just ate that's gotten me exhausted? That's a whole different thing with nutrition. But getting tired in the evening, when you should, that should be your energy meal. You should be tired around bedtime, your average bedtime. So there are a lot of signs that people ignore and normalize. But just, you should have energy. If you're sleeping 8, 9 hours a night, that should be enough for you to just push through the day until bedtime again. So if anything feels off, you should.
Cool. No, thanks a lot. So now back to sleep, and I know it's such a big area, but we'll try to keep it practical, and I'm just gonna ask some questions and see if our listeners can extract something for them. It could be some action steps. It could be just, again, the maybe the alarms, maybe some of the indicators that maybe I need to get a coach to help me, or maybe I need to look at this area. Because as you said, we are in the society, we're normalizing so many things that because everybody's doing, but it doesn't make, because everybody's doing them, but actually they're not good for you. They're reducing your life expectancy. They're damaging your health. They're reducing your energy, impacting your mood, your mental health. I mean, in so many ways. And sleep is so foundational. I cannot stress enough how much it is. Now, luckily, over the last few years, there have been a lot of information out there, books, podcasts. So, hopefully our listeners heard about, how sleep is important, right? Now, knowing something and actually doing something about it is kind of, there is a gap there, at least what I've seen in my life, in life of my clients. So just curious, people coming to you for coaching. What are they, you know, when do they come? What usually is the trigger? They come to you and saying, "Hey, I need help with sleep." Um,
Yeah, which is already a big feat, right? Noticing you have help, noticing you need help, and seeking out the help is a big step, right? Really courageous. A lot of the people I meet feel hopeless. A lot of the time they're exhausted, and they also feel like they don't have order. So a lot of the time when people seek out a coach, generally, I notice they're seeking out assistance with just setting some sort of order in their lives. A sleep schedule is a big, big, big thing
mm,
with a lot of the people that I work with. Someone who can hold them accountable. A lot of people are seeking an accountability partner when it comes to sleep, and just that reassurance that is this the reason? Like a lot of people are like, well, I notice I'm not doing the things that I normally should do. Is it sleep? A lot of people just want that reassurance that
mhm,
if I get more sleep, will it actually get better? And I'm like, yeah, it's going to get better. Just watch. I'm here with you. It's going to get better.
mhm. Okay, okay, good. So, and as we discussed, a lot of things are kind of normalized in our society. For example, one of these things that going to bed kind of
Yeah.
late.
Yeah.
I don't even know what word to use, but basically like way beyond midnight, right? Either working, staying up late working, or staying up late, I don't know, watching TV or scrolling social media. I don't know. There are probably many things we can do, but it's really, really not helpful. Because what I noticed, and I know I'm going to share it with you, and you tell me how it sounds. I noticed, and I use my Oura ring
Ring.
to
Love
to
it.
monitor my sleep. I don't know for good or for bad, but at least it shows me how my sleep is my sleep efficient, did I get enough deep sleep? And what I
Right.
notice that I only get deep sleep in the earlier part of the night.
Mm.
And if I go to bed beyond midnight, which I try not to, I usually get either no or very small amounts of deep sleep. Now, is this something that is this the normal pattern? And what do you think about the bedtime in terms of, ideally, or not even ideally, but what we should aim for?
Yeah. There's something called the circadian rhythm, right? This is something
Mhm.
our body already naturally responds to. Our sleep time, wake time, and that's the flow that our body can be at its 100%. Um, and that's what it sounds like is happening with you. Do you notice that you typically have it? I mean, you're saying that you try to go to sleep before midnight, and then when you don't,
I go to sleep around 11, 10:30, 11.
okay,
And it seems like gives me enough good sleep, 7 8 hours. I think seven and
right,
a half 8 hours is 8 actually is better. I feel
yeah,
much better with
of
8 hours of
course,
sleep.
yeah.
um I know it seems like a lot, but that's what my body needs.
8 hours seems like a lot because again, we've normalized that 6 hours is what an adult needs, but 7 to 8, 9 hours even is where we should be aiming for. And so for what you're experiencing, it sounds like, you're not just hitting those cycles that your body's used to. And so your body just goes a little bit out of whack.
Mm.
And so
So would you say the deep sleep, is this something that is just very individual, or is this something more usual that the deep sleep happens in earlier part of the night?
it is different for people. Some people,
Okay.
the cycle would go REM sleep, light sleep, REM sleep, and then go into that deep sleep. So
Oh,
there are
okay.
cycles, there are sleep cycles. So that's kind of what we would be aiming for. So it's interesting that you're saying that too. I wonder if you're steadily, I mean, does the Oura ring tell you about your light sleep and your REM sleep? I think it
Yeah,
does.
absolutely. Yeah,
Right. And
it
so,
does. It does.
and
But
so when you're,
it's not what happening. It's light sleep, deep sleep, light sleep, deep sleep in the earlier part of the night. And then the later part of the night is light sleep, REM sleep, light sleep, REM sleep, without going into the deep
Into
sleep.
deep sleep.
So even if I wake up too early, for example, if I need to wake up like 4 o'clock or 5 a.m. for some reason, I miss REM sleep because my REM sleep only happens around 3, 4, 5 o'clock. So it's just curious because I always, when I read literature, it says that there are those cycles, like you explained, REM sleep, light sleep, deep sleep, REM sleep, and they go in phases, but it's not what, at least not what my Oura
Ring
shows
is
me.
saying. Right.
Interesting.
It is, yeah, no, it's definitely individualistic, right? We have these set normal, you know, uh uh I don't even know the word to call it, like, specific ranges for
Norms,
people,
yeah.
right? Norms, but everyone is different. The thing about you, I would want to ask, if you're feeling rested in these with the cycles that you're experiencing. I feel like if you feel like you're feeling rested going through the cycles that you're going through, the way you're going through them, I think that's important as long as you're hitting all of the cycles, enough deep sleep, enough REM sleep, enough light sleep too. Are you dreaming? Are you, things like that are very important. So I think if you're feeling rested, and it's good that you're tracking it. A lot of people don't. I love the Oura ring. I've heard controversy about it, but I think it's good to know yourself in this way, and you're really
I
hyper
like it.
aware.
I'm a little bit kind of, I'm my origin in finance. I'm a little bit of data
Right.
geek. For me, it's
Yeah.
very hard to make decisions and to do something without having some data. That's why I
Statistics, yeah.
like tracking things. And I know there's some controversy around how much you should kind of keep track of things, but for me, it's helpful. It shows me when I exercise, like I recently started to exercise more. I actually have I'm working with the health coach, fitness
Wow.
coach, to do more exercise because exercise has been always an area that it's just hard for me. And I don't know why. It's just personally, I can do so many things in life,
Right.
but exercising is like my uh, Achilles heel.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I hired a coach. Everybody needs a coach. So I had a coach and we're working on exercise. And what I noticed, my Oura ring shows me that my sleep is improving. And, no surprise. Yeah,
That's
no surprise.
incredible.
I get more REM sleep. I fall asleep better,
Good.
quicker. And the efficiency of sleep is better. And the temperature goes
Yes.
down better. So
Yes.
there's so many, and Aura just helps you to see those factors that impacts various your heart rate, your HRV, your body temperature. So I don't know. I don't think it's necessary, honestly, but if you can afford it, and if you can
Right.
not get too obsessed, I guess what is it becomes dangerous if you get too obsessed, and things are going 1% up, 1% down. You start worry about if you're not anxious, too much
Right.
anxious about it. I think it's a cool thing. So going back to my question, we get a little bit sideways, but I want to go back to the question of going to bed, because again, I think a lot of people go to bed, like I've met some of my clients or some of my friends, they go to bed like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock at night. And I know there are different chronotypes, but I think majority of us are, they call it bear chronotype. I don't know if you're familiar with the chronotype.
Like nocturnal.
Yeah, I think nocturnal is small percentage of people. I
Yeah.
think majority of us are kind of daylight. They call it
Right.
bear
Ah,
archetype, and
okay.
um that's kind of early to bed, early
Wake up.
earlier to wake up, having around, like you said, 8 to 9 hours of sleep. That's the
Right.
bear chronotype. So what would you say? in terms of the, time to go to bed, what would be, better, best, or how should people determine their best time to go to bed?
Yeah. So I would say for people who have like a typical 9 to 5 job, you know, definitely going to sleep before midnight. Probably 10 is a good time to at least, try to wind down, be in bed by 10. And then awake by what's 8 hours after that time? About 6:30, you
Yeah.
know, enough time to get yourself up, depending on your commute. I mean, again, I really encourage people to sleep for 8 hours as well. Just for the purpose of feeling your best self. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
people can't get 8 hours, or they'll say they can't get 8 hours. And I always, tend to um, combat that a little bit. Why?
Yeah.
Why not? But
Challenge.
aside from
Yep.
exactly challenge it a little bit, why not? Why not? Why can't you get 8 hours? And I'm especially in the city that I live in, a lot of people, they are trying to hustle in every hour of the hour, every moment that they can. And
Mm,
burnout is very real too. A lot of
mm,
those people who tend to say that they sleep 4 or 5 hours, in 2 weeks of doing that, they are crashing and they're in bed for 13 hours, and you can't hear
yeah.
from them for 2 days because they fully crashed. And that's the thing that
Mm,
they tend to not tell you about, because they want you to know that they sleep and run on 4 hours of sleep. But it's really bad for the body, the organs, the skin, the hair, your teeth, the things that you notice when you're not sleeping. Again, I think of it as rejuvenation. I tell people, sorry, patients, I tell people that it is rejuvenation. Your body, your organs, every single part of you needs to go through a restful cycle, a restful state. And that's longer than 4 hours. It does take a long time. There are 24
yeah.
hours in a day.
Yeah.
If you're sleeping for 4 hours, you're awake for 20 hours. That is absurd. That's
Yeah.
absurd.
No, 100%. And Um, I think it's even more than that, and I don't know. I'd be interested to hear your point of view. I think again, the culture, the hustle culture,
Yeah.
it pushes us to use every minute of every hour to do something productive.
Right.
However, I've read at some point that we should go to sleep already rested. So sleep is not for rest. Sleep is, like you said, for a lot of processes, chemical processes inside of us, both for the body and the mind. Our memories, our habits is built, our memories, our learnings. If we
Right.
don't get sleep, we don't get, you know, what we learn don't get stored. But so the body is working, there are a lot of processes going on, and for
Right.
those processes to go, you need to have a certain amount of time to rest before you
Hmm.
go to sleep, so you shouldn't
Definitely.
crush. It's funny, on the Oura ring there is a indicator that impacts your quality of sleep score, that's called latency, how quickly you
Hmm.
fall asleep. And
Yes.
if it's small, if it's less than 5 minutes, then it actually shows you that you're too tired.
Right.
That's bad.
Oh, that's true.
That's
Oh,
true,
wow. See, I
right?
love the Aura ring. See, that's amazing.
Okay, high five to Aura Club.
Right. Double fives to Aura ring. That's incredible.
Exactly. So we're doing this program Better Daily, and we go through keystone habits. And one of the habit is this evening routine, the 60
Mhm.
to 90 minutes before you go to bed. And this time is for you to wind down, to do
Yes.
no arguing, no super exciting activities.
Right.
If you read something that doesn't, you know relaxing.
Overstimulate. Right.
Yeah, no overstimulation. Take a bath, do stretching, do I don't know, anything,
Yes.
meditation or talking to your partner or your kids, even playing, but kind of, soft playing. So, interesting to hear. Have you managed to help your clients with this period? Because I think, again, it's a huge impact on the quality of your sleep, how you spend those 60 to 90 minutes right before you go to bed.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Especially so a couple situations stuck out to me when you noted that a lot of clients who are married or have families, a big part of that, you know, grown people want that time, right? Of course, having your time with your partner is one thing, but when you have kids, you have to put them to sleep. You have to get them wound down, and then you have to focus on yourself. A lot of people forget that part. And then that honestly does end up with now I'm on my phone for 2.5 hours. I haven't brushed my teeth, showered, I barely ate, and now it's 2 in the morning, because we want
Yeah.
that. We crave that, and that 60 to 90 minute is necessary. And so, like you said, it's
Mm-hmm.
important to be intentional about that, very
Yeah.
intentional about that. And I love that you noted not doing extraneous activity, because a lot of people, they battle with this exercise early in the day, exercise in the later half of the day. But it's like, stretch. Working out and doing a nighttime workout is good, maybe the hour or two, beforehand. Then you get, you eat afterwards, a nice meal, a little meal after. Then you shower, and then it still becomes that wind down. Don't forget to
Yeah.
wind down, stretch, meditate, have a calm conversation, read.
Mm-hmm.
If you happen to be on your phone, turn the brightness all the way down. These smartphones do have the light. That's another controversial thing, because I would recommend you just put the phone to the side, but it's unrealistic for a lot of people. I
Yeah.
get it, but you can be intentional with the things that you do, and again, I love you also noted productivity, right? You're like, it's
Yeah.
not productive because people want to do so many things. They want to be productive in every hour of their day, but sleep is
Yeah.
productive. You're being productive if you're sleeping, because your body is
Yeah.
able to rest. And like you said, get those memories, lock them in, refresh them, make them brighter and better for the next day, this conversation is really great.
Well, yeah, I noticed. I mentioned productivity because I'm a productivity coach. I spend a lot of time reading about productivity, learning different techniques and different frameworks and different concepts, trying it on myself and helping my clients. And where I am right now, and what I changed for myself, if I have something urgent I need to do and it's already late, I go to bed early and then I wake up early because I know that even though, I'm not a super morning person, but even then, I wake up, I do my exercise, I walk to get some
Right,
sunlight, I
right.
go back, do my exercise, take shower, and then I will do that urgent task twice quicker compared
Mm,
to if I did it last night.
night before, absolutely.
And it's just no point. I know that I will not only it will take longer, but also it will impact my circadian rhythm. So my internal
Yes.
clock get jet lagged, basically
Right.
jet lagged, and then
Yeah.
it will take me, I don't know, few days minimum to get back. So the impact is much more than just this short thing. So absolutely, and also so interestingly, in the productivity, again, I see a lot of people taking different approach, kind of looking more into what are those productive periods of the day. So it's not doing more, is
Okay.
is placing the right work, the right type of work for the in the certain time of the day, the
Right.
corresponding time of the day. In the morning, more intellectual work, creative work, maybe in the afternoon. So kind of matching these things, but also sleep kind of going back. if you want to be productive, then you gotta get sleep. It will impact so many things during your day that no way you can ignore it. One more thing I wanted to ask you, one more question, again, very practical. What do you think about naps? And, have you recommended them to your clients? Have they tried? Is it something, is it a good idea?
So naps, another controversial thing. So the thing is, a nap technically, and this is according to the person I work with, the sleep doctor, a nap is technically 20 minutes, right? Anything longer than that, 20, 30 minutes, anything longer than 30 minutes is sleep.
Okay, cool.
So if you find yourself asleep for an hour or two, right, which is what a lot of us do end up doing, napping for an hour or two, that's us catching up on actual rest. That 20-minute, 30-minute refresher, that's a nap. That's something some people do need that, especially again, we're talking about the meals. If you're not in the treatment of a sleep doctor or a sleep coach and you find yourself exhausted throughout the day, little blurts of restfulness, 30-minute nap, quick, should be enough to get you back up and going. If you find yourself needing anything longer than that, you're probably just tired and you should consider, sleeping a little bit longer that night.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's I do nap sometimes when I wake up earlier than my usual time and I do feel a little bit tired in the
Yeah.
afternoon, I would take 20 minutes nap. I put the alarm on, and usually during this 20 minets, I even get the deep sleep, interestingly enough. So
Yes, right.
so
That's that dip that you
and it's
need.
like
Yes.
you feel like it's just, but it's you wake up, and I know some people wake up a little bit groggy, but I think it's important to keep that short interval until you stay too long.
Right.
And if you do feel groggy. So anyway, it works for me. 20 minutes.
Yes.
It's important to put the alarm on and just
Mhm.
it feels like a reset
Exactly.
reset
That's
button.
exactly that's exactly what a nap is supposed to be. So I'm glad you asked that. That's exactly what a nap is supposed to be. Yes.
Great. So I think, if you need to wake up early, if it's kind of emergency kit, use it. I would say use it. Why not? But the priority is to get those 8 to 9 hours of
Yeah,
sleep.
try your best to get 8 to 9 hours. And yeah, I mean, you'll notice how much better you'll feel. So many things will be different. Even the way your attitude will be different. Again, I'm saying that, living in New York, it's like your attitude. You'll notice a lot of people are very fussy, anxious,
Mm.
cranky, grumpy, and they're just probably just tired. There's this coffee culture too. I need my coffee. Don't talk to me until I get my coffee. You didn't sleep. You're
Ooh.
tired. You're tired.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I guess I'm too again I'm like a Pavlovian dog because I listen to Dr. Huberman lab podcast too much
Yeah.
probably, but uh, um I wake up, I get my sunlight. I go outside to get my sunlight, which is
Good.
important in the morning.
Yes.
And
Very.
to wake up to get your circadian body clock going. Then I go
Mhm.
back, I do my exercise, I take shower, I drink my water, I drink
Yes.
my lemon water. So I only drink coffee in about 90 minutes or after, because that's what Dr. Huberman tells us.
Yes. Right. Don't rely on it. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah,
A lot of people,
yeah.
it's caffeine is a stimulant.
And also, if you drink it right after you wake up, you suppress the cortisol, which we need to feel alert and
Mhm.
awake. So let that cortisol, which we need to be
Yes.
there for at least 90 minutes, and then I enjoy my cup of coffee. But definitely, if I would feel that I don't feel awake before I have my coffee, I would be I would be concerned that
Yeah.
something is not right.
Right. Say it again, Lydia. You should be concerned if something something is not right. Exactly.
Absolutely. Now, and of course, what I see, and I've seen it a lot, and other people depending on coffee, but drinking coffee for me is like it's just before lunchtime. That's it. Like after
Yeah.
lunchtime, I'm not drinking coffee. I'm drinking tea. I'm drinking water.
Yeah.
Um, I can occasionally drink wine. Um, but coffee after 2 o'clock, coffee is also can be a factor impacting your sleep.
Oh,
So
100%. Oh, yes.
the
Yeah, these
coffee
coffee shops,
culture, they should be
any
closed
they should
after 2 o'clock.
any coffee shop open past even 4, like the fact that they stay open, I think Starbucks stays open till like 8. And I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it's for people who work overnight, but people are not doing that. People are getting coffee at any time. And then yes, those people are up at 3 and 4 in the morning trying to figure out why they can't go to sleep.
All right, all right. So let's get real. Let's get practical. So people listening say, "Okay, you got me. You know, I'm ready to do the first step." What would be the first step? So they know they do. They spend the evening doing some bedtime procrastination. Either scrolling on the phone or maybe
Yes.
I don't know, maybe just catching up on the emails, trying to cram things. So they go to bed later and they're not having 8, 9, okay, 8, even 7 hours of sleep.
Even 7,
So
exactly.
they say, okay, you got me, you convinced me. What is the first step? How, what should I do first?
Mm. So after, leaving the denial phase, right, realizing that you're where you're at, um, I would say the first step is really noting all the things that have been distractions. I would recommend just listing them off, really taking into account what's been distracting. And then at that point, reorganizing things, understanding that sleep at that point, again, that's 30 to 90 minutes. That's the most important thing on your mind. That should be the most important thing on your mind. And so reframing that thought process is going to be that next step for sure.
Okay. Okay. No, I got you. I got you. And um, I can add, and again, what worked for me and for some of my clients, I mentioned that bedtime procrastination, and that's a specific term when we do things for ourselves because, as you mentioned before, we're busy with the family, we're busy with work. So we kind of feel like this is the only time for ourselves, and
Right.
we try to compensate. So what I notice is sometimes it's even helpful to look at your day and ask yourself, where in this day I can find, I don't know, 30 minutes for myself, my own thing, so that, the thing that you do at 1 o'clock or at 12 o'clock at night,
Right.
can you push it and do it during lunchtime? Can you do it in the afternoon? Grab those 30 minutes and so that you don't have to do it late at night. To kind
Right.
of I would say self-care and putting yourself and yourself as a priority, that helped. And again, it helped me and I know it helped some of my clients. So I love that you mentioned that you start analyzing what's going on. So I think that's a great first step. All right. I think that's been a wonderful conversation. We can
Thank
talk for
you.
hours.
I know, right?
uh, but hopefully we just this is yet another conversation that point out how important sleep is, and that it's there are a lot of factors,
Right.
there are a lot of factors that impact sleep. As I said, I started exercising, it impacts sleep. When you stop exercising, it will also impact sleep.
Yes.
Any changes in diet can impact your sleep.
Huge,
Any
greatly.
stress level during the day impact sleep. I mean, it's a holistic approach that you need to take, but
Right.
hopefully you get some nuggets of wisdom from that conversation. And I think if you feel like something interested you, something that says, maybe this is something I need to look into, then go ahead. Find Anyssa on
Yes.
Coachdotme. We'll put the links in the description notes, and yeah, and just get talk to her, and share your story, share your concerns, share your questions, and see where you get. So thank you so much, Anyssa. Hopefully that was also cool for you.
Yeah, no, that was great. I'm happy to help. Thank you so much.